Okay, and welcome back. This is episode 2 of The Lost Colony, and I'm excited to be back with you. Last time we started checking out the city here. This was the main colony city area. And I gotta say, for a colony of 60 people, it's a pretty nice, big feeling city area, with apartments and a nightclub and everything. Um, let's take a look here. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get my toolbar set up better real quick. Get this better drill in there. Okay, so I think after having explored the main area of that building, I think today's episode will be, we'll try to explore other parts of the city and get through that so that we can try to uncover some of the mysteries here. So this is the house that's sort of in the I don't know. I don't remember which direction, but it's like right to the left after you come in that gate there. And it's I'm just kind of looking around the outside right now. They have a car that we could grab if we want to. It's one of the nice things about space engineers is that um, that these are you can create these modular sort of vehicle designs. It's kind of cool, I think. And going up to the roof here, we see another antenna, which is just an interior column. Which I like how they do that cosmetically, make it look like an antenna. Not a whole lot else going on in here though, so let's drop back down. We could jump into this glass on the ceiling, but probably not. And yeah, well, take a look inside. There's a corridor, bathroom, pretty typical for this scenario. This one happens to have a set of stairs. They do have a higher tier welder here so that we could upgrade to. Got to go to the toolbar. Yeah, we'll throw that in the toolbar. So that's nice. And yeah, so we come in. Off to the right is the kitchen, it looks like, with lockers in the kitchen with a space pad. This is Sunset Valley News pad. Read that in a second. Here's the table. We can get some recharge on that if we need to. Let's take a look at the Sunset Valley News. Rumors say they are vaults of untold riches behind by space pirates. Colony authorities say they are extremely dangerous and urge people to report any location of them. Some of them say they are old forgotten facilities once used by the infamous Results-Oriented Sciences, ROS. So what really are these old moldy underground bunkers? The truth might be a combination of those theories. Not many people know that the sewer system of the Sunset Valley is actually once one of those old bunkers. During the construction of the apartment buildings, construction workers accidentally breached the bunker. While the bunker is said to have contained some value, it also did contain some active turrets, which resulted in several injuries. It is true that RS had several facilities in the region, but the whereabouts has long since been forgotten. So that's kind of a report on these bunkers, and basically, it sounds like there was a rumor about these old bunkers being used by space pirates, but in reality, they're probably, at least partially, the remnants of tunnels left behind by the results-oriented scientist faction. Um, so that's probably what they are. Looking on the second floor here, we do have a little bit of a bedroom, it looks like here. Some components there, we'll take those. And then, yeah, there's not going to be anything in this bed. But it's a nice little room. I like this desk against the wall. And then we'll go over here and let's see. If I go off, yeah, it's to the left here. Okay, and then we get this room. And there's another bed in here, but there's a TV and stuff. So it's like a bedroom, living room kind of combined, I guess. Anyway, I think we'll go ahead and take a look at this pad. This is Isaac Yobel. At this stage, the colony doesn't have to be profitable. Sunset Valley is a true frontier colony requiring a frontier spirit. I know the logistics are a nightmare, but for this purpose, we are looking for and identifying those old bunkers and making sure there aren't any active air turrets left. After this running area is safe, we're going to start working on a landing site to make the logistics easier. And that's from Hiroko Zhang. That's our guy, our person that we were contacted by, explaining that they want to take out the anti-air turrets. So that tells me that as we continue to explore, we're going to encounter anti-air turrets, which is always nice to hear, I guess. Let's see here. So that's that house. And let's store a bunch of our stuff in here. And let's check out another building now. So this building over here we haven't done yet. Actually, there's 3 big buildings and a couple of smaller buildings. But that's the contract office. That is the apartment A. Going up these stairs. Going downstairs is the nightclub. And so that we don't need to do this. There's the ATM. Let's deposit these space credits real quick. And that is starting to get a decent balance, I guess. Let's go ahead and check. Well, this is the nightclub, isn't it? Yeah, it's just the nightclub. So, and these are those old tunnels. Oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna go repair that door. Let's take a look at that door and see if we can get it working with the components that we have on us. Nope, we still need quite a few more things. We need motors and small steel tubes and glass and some interior plates. So we're not quite ready to finish restoring that yet. But we'll go back up now. And we'll take a look at... Yeah, that's the same door. But we'll go back up. Well, anyway, let's head back up and let's pick a building to explore. We'll have to come back down with some other components and repair that door at some point. Okay, so this is apartment A. So the first apartment that we explored. And let's see here. And we can access that, okay. Well, we don't have access, but you can interact with that block. I always forget that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and try a different building now. Let's go to... Let's see, this building looks interesting here. Let's start with this building. Okay, so we'll get the crates on the outside. Let me just do a once-over around the outside of this building. Now, if I remember correctly, and based on the waypoint and everything, I think this is the Argonaut Industries building. It's the AIS or AIG building. I can't remember what the last letter is. I like how there's all these abandoned vehicles around this base where 60 people live. Like, I understand that they need some vehicles, but... Oh, wait. You know what? Let's just do this one. This is a house real quick. There's a dead guy with fungus there. And there's a ladder. The door there is locked as well, so we can't go inside. Similar to the first house on the right from the entrance of the building that we explored. But we'll mark that on our GPS and move on. Let's take a look upstairs. That is to say, on the roof. and see if there's anything up there. It doesn't. I don't think it's likely, but we'll see. Yeah, nothing really happening up here. So we'll go back down and try. Well, let me just. I'll just do a quick glance around the side of the building again, real quick, see if there's any way to get in or get any resources or anything. But I'm not optimistic, and it's like I said, it's locked in that door. Okay, so that's that house, but there's like another one right next to it. Yeah, this one here. So let's just take a peek at that. And it's locked as well. It says Zhang family. So this is the Zhang family house. Okay. And I don't think they all had that label like this house does as far as like who lived there. So good to know. Let's mark this door as well as another locked door, so we'll know to come back to it. I'm particularly interested in coming back to this house. This is the house of the person we were sent in to extract. And check out the roof as well and see if there's anything up here. I doubt it. Yeah, not seeing anything up here, so probably just glance around the property to see if there's any accessible crates or anything, but for the most part I'm going to assume not and move on. Um, so let's move on. And again, we can't really get down into there, but it's kind of cool to look down in the skylights and see what we could be missing. So, moving on. There is this building here. Okay, so this is the one next to that one. Okay, so let's go and actually explore this building now. Take a look at these crates. You know, I need to switch this over to the actual inventory of the crate. I think I might have missed a crate earlier for that reason. Let me go back and check. I think I had the group inventory on, so we'll take a look and see if I missed anything. I think it was over here somewhere. Let's see. Yes. Okay, but there's nothing in that crate, so it's all good. Alright. Well, let's check out. There's another ATM on this building, but we'll go on inside. And we'll take a look at we'll see what's going on inside. Now there are some LCD screens that we could take a look at. Administration and AGI, Ergonaut General Industries, maybe. Medical offices, police offices, lobby, you're here, garage, armory, floor -1, jail, medical center, etc. So it's basically a directory, and there's the bathroom here. So, and then the Sire Lab, morgue, and research lab are in the basement. So those are two very important buildings. They're referenced in another data pad, and we cannot access this door, it appears. So we'll make a GPS marker. And we will go ahead and probably just yeah, lock door. I need to change these because we're in double digits. So let's put a 0 in front of all the single digit ones now that we're up to 10. And I need to start remembering to label them if possible. Okay, so that's our locked doors. Now there are a couple of others. There was one, at least one other one that I didn't mark yet, and that was the other house that we started with to the right of the entrance of the city. But that's like one that, excuse me, that I missed. Okay, so we're able to get into this section of the area, and it's the one of the laboratories, medical lab. So let's take a look in here. Turning around the corridor, we do have a suit room. I wish they had different lockers for non-military equipment, and frankly, I think that would obviate or it would necessitate the need for different apparel that you can wear besides presumably some sort of combat armor. It might make the need for combat armor apparent. Here are some cryostasis cells or whatever they call those things. No, those are just MRIs or whatever. Standard hospital beds. Here's a locker, another locker. Let's check it out. Medical components, great. Definitely want those. Med kit, great. And we do have one button that's programmed. Let's see what that does. Can't really tell. Use medical room. Yeah, it doesn't say, and I don't see any noticeable effects from it. Maybe it has something to do with healing, or I don't know. But here is the medical bay, the one, and I believe only medical bay in this entire scenario, so it's kind of interesting that, in your survival world, almost everybody has a medical bay, med bay. Alright, and we're going into the more medical research area of the lab, so here's a little research room with a locker. Let's take a look at this pad and see what it says. The Sunset Valley Medical and Research Department. While expensive to build and maintain, state-of-the-art medicinal and research facilities are necessary in remote regions where unknown diseases and epidemics could otherwise wipe out whole colonies before they could be received. Help could be received. For this purpose, Argonaut Industries did not spare any expense while constructing the facilities for Medical and Research Department. A. Composition of Medical Department, and then it has a list of names of people who work here. Davenport is the chief doctor, Velasco is another doctor, Ortiz, Kozlov, Garza, Abbott. And research is Camilla Davenport, Azoko Shang, and the other Davenport. And I think one of those pads that we first got talked about how the Davenports were leading a rebellion or some sort of sabotage effort against the lab or something. So I'll have to go back and look at that, but it's good to know that they all worked in the same department. And in particular, Hiroko Zhang worked in the medical lab. Or was it the research lab? Maybe it was the research lab. Alright, nothing in the oxygen generator. Here is the jail, an armory. It's locked, so we'll go ahead and make a GPS for that. And I'll go ahead and label it as well. Okay, so we've got that. And we'll go to the next section. Just gonna double check real quick, make sure I got everything. And you know what? We didn't go down there, did we? Okay, so we didn't finish this. This is the other section of the medical lab. Okay, a nice drill, or welder. Some components, we'll definitely want those. Some reactor components, that's cool. We do have this lab block, which is really cool, but I don't think it does anything. But it's really cool to look at. It's obviously some sort of medical experiment block. We do have a panel here we can interact with, which is good to know if we ever build one of these things. And here's all the parts that we can see from here. Intriguing. So yeah, there's a lot of things you can see through this block, I guess, just like any other block. You can club lights. I think I forgot to turn those on actually when I was in there. Or no, I think I did. But really, not a whole lot I can do here, and I certainly can't grant access to anything. So I think I'm just gonna have to leave this behind. But it's it's a cool looking block. Let's check this place behind it here. Yeah, because I can't really interact with any of the other components on it. But anyway, yep, nothing. Check the lockers and the suit area. Alright, and then back in here we've got some timer blocks, which, I think the game is using mostly decoratively, but they probably could be used functionally somehow, I'm not sure. Get some silver and some uranium, that's very useful. Another experiment block. Same thing here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and head back to that second stairwell here, and then why don't we move on downstairs. Okay, so this is going to be, I don't remember what the directory said, but this is the Cryo Lab, authorized personnel only, and it does appear to be open. And this is the Morgue and Research Lab, authorized personnel only. Let's try the Cryo Lab first. And we do have some suits. Again, I wish they could hang like lab coats or something up in here instead of marine power armor. Survival kit on, I guess. Okay. I don't know if that turned it on or off or what, but... And we can reset our spawn, I guess, to this. Maybe that's what that button did. You can hop in the cryo chamber. It's a cool block. It makes sense for a sci-fi game. Get some ice here. I guess they put the ice in there because it's a joke, because it's right next to the cryostasis pods. But that's the cryo lab, so then let's move on to the research lab and morgue. Now this is where Hiroko Zheng said his wife was buried in the morgue. Let's take a look. This is blocked. This is the research lab. Okay, so we can't go in the research lab right now. So we'll go ahead and mark the door. And we'll label it research lab. Okay. Check out down there in a second, but let's go over here first. And this appears to be the morgue. Yes, the morgue. So we'll mark this door. It's locked as well. And we'll label it morgue. And then that should just about do it for the locked doors of this downstairs area. And we'll come back here when we have access. But for now, I guess we'll head back up and back out through the general laboratory section here. Yeah, we already checked that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it winds around like this and goes back to the main stairwell right here. And so that was... Okay, I see what they've done. So that goes down, and then the other staircase goes down to the -3 floor. So we're at the 0 floor now. And there's another locked door there for the AGI offices that we already looked at, but let's go up these stairs and see what's up here. Okay, starting with this door, we do have a little bit of an atrium, which I love. I love that. I should try to build those more. And this is some guy's office. We'll go ahead and mark the locked door. Misspelled it. Locked door 14 and Doc's office. Okay, that's fine. So this is like the chief doctor guy, I think. Okay. A couple of data pads here. Some more medical components, so that's a good find. I'll have a seat and we'll check out the data pads. Sunset, so we already read the medical research. Sunset Valley Population Records Part 1. And they're organized by family, it looks like. The Abbott, Glover, Ortiz. I bet you the guy that wrote this story, this is part of the script he had to come up with, because this is just lists of names. Mackenzie's, Weaver's, Holloway, Leroy Holloway. Interesting stuff, but doesn't really add to the story that much. Just tells you who's who. But it's nice to have a little list, I guess. Okay, so that's that side. Let's check out the other side. Okay. So we have a bit of a lobby waiting room area, it looks like. And then this is the roof access, authorized personnel only. So we can go up to the roof. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. It's a little different than other roofs. Interior section first. You can almost like feel the heat coming in through that window. It's so well crafted. Like, it's so realistic. Alright, we're up here on the roof. It's cool, but I don't see anything of significance. There's a laser antenna on the roof. And some other antenna looking stuff, which is cool. Some air vent looking stuff, which is also cool. Alright, well, I don't see anything of note up here. I guess I could hop down there. Is this part of the doctor's office, maybe? I'm trying to see the waypoint. I don't think it is. I think this is just something else. And that might be the waiting room or the atrium, I'm not sure. And they got this railing around the whole outside, which is kind of cool too. And we can go over to the other building from this little unfinished walkway, and there's an air vent there, so that would have been cool if they made something with tunnels around the outside of these buildings like that, but it would have been hard. It would have interrupted the flow of how the buildings looked. Alright. Well, I took the elevator back down, I think, or whatever that is, or I just jumped. So, yeah, so that's the roof access, so we can go a few different ways now. A lot of options. Let's check this one. This is the AGI offices, Argonaut Industries offices. Got data pads on this table, which is cool. I want a conference room that looks like that someday. Okay, then we've got some lockers. Sunset Valley Police Department. Let's take a look at that. Having its roots in small Argonaut Industries Security Division detachment, the current police force of Sunset Valley are much more civilian in nature. The region has been devoid of any pirate or significant active hostile threats, so it was deemed unnecessary to have a strong garrison in the colony. Krause is in charge. Mackenzie is next in charge, or the detective. You can read the others. There's a handful of police officers. It's good to know. Alright, so that's, so this is like the AGI Police Department. Get another gun there. But I can't go in this door. This is Secure Archives. Okay, so we'll go ahead and mark that. Probably a good place to go to come back to learn more about this deep background of the story. So we'll take a look at that, or take a mark at that. And then let's go ahead and head back this way. And back out the door, and then we have to find the other doors along here. This is the Malcolm Benton, governor. Okay, this is the governor's office, I guess. That's cool. And we have another pad here. Okay, we'll read that. That's going to be interesting. History, Sunset Valley. The extreme remoteness from the other colonies is what originally attracted the first settlers to the valley, and once you have seen the sunset, it becomes immediately clear why Sunset Valley has grown from its farming roots into a prospering mining colony. A feat that couldn't have been achieved without extensive support from the Argonaut Industries. While Argonaut Industries provides communication, electricity, waste treatment, security, and medical services for the colony, all the business endeavors are left for the local startups. History of the valley is relatively unknown. The valley is rumored to contain old underground facilities belonging to the infamous results-oriented scientist ROS, but the few bunkers found could as well be old pirate hideouts. Needless to say, officials don't recommend exploring any old structures. So there's this dichotomy explanation between the old bunkers being ROS, being old space pirate structures, and they don't really definitively say, but you know, it's kind of like anything. You sort of develop a sense of mythology based on combining what you actually know with what you think you know. Okay, there's another door down here. Let's check that out. This is the Zhang's office, I believe. Hiroko Zhang. Okay, so this is cool. This is useful for the story. In fact, this is some of the best story elements that we've seen so far. The logistics between our colony and the outside world are an absolute nightmare to manage. The various no-fly zones surrounding the valley make air traffic impossible, and it takes about 3 days for ground transportation to reach the nearest colony. I simply can't see it being feasible from a business standpoint. Okay, so that's kind of plays into the other pad that talked about clearing out the turrets so they can make a landing pad. Alright, and here is the logistics officer quarters. And we've got some platinum, that's always good. And here's geology data. So we've got pretty much all the minerals we could possibly want, except for gold is unknown. So we'll make sure we remember that. I don't know if we're going to need that much gold, but I'm going to mark all these as the same color. It's going to be this kind of greenish yellow color, so that we know we're looking at ore samples that have been found, or ore deposits that have been found. This is very similar to how I label them in my games. Iron, nickel, cobalt, silicon, magnesium, ice, iron alone, cobalt with silver, silicon and nickel, plenty of those kinds of things, so that's good. And yeah, so then we'll go ahead and I think that's the whole building actually, as far as what we can access, so that's good. Let's head out, and I think we're about ready to call this an episode. So that takes care of apartment A and apartment B. and so that's good. And um, we'll explore another building next time, or perhaps do some other things. But that definitely fills in some of the story. Now we know that they have some turrets out there, that they're occupying buildings that are built on top of pre-existing bunkers, that there is a police force, that there is a medical team and a research team. The morgue and the research labs are down there, and that so it's kind of the main administrative building of the colony. And we also got the geology data, so if we need certain minerals, we can get those. So, I think I'm going to call this an episode. Thank you so much for watching. Look forward to, I look forward to seeing you next time on The Lost Colony, and that is going to do it. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.